What's going on, everybody? Beretta here with another GeekyCast video, and today we're going to be talking about X-Men versus the Avengers and how we're going to get to that from Deadpool. But first, I finally got Deadpool. We had a taco truck at work today, and I literally just saw it, and I was like, hey, can I get one of those? So in the last couple days, I've gotten Nick Fury, Deadpool, and Blade. So the collection is growing. Anyways, I think we're going to talk about essentially how we're gonna get there. Let's get into it. So a lot of this information comes from my friend Alex over at the Cosmic Circus. He did an article, which I'll leave below, saying according to sources, with Monica Rambeau trapped in another universe, her character is set to take center stage as one of the key players in the future that is to come. Her presence in another universe will be one of the main catalysts that will push the events of Secret Wars forward, as her presence in this alternate universe, seemingly implied to be one inhabited by the X-Men, is headed for a collision course with the main 616. What does that mean, you ask? Incursion. Incursions. So essentially, she's on another planet, another universe. It's causing, the footsteps, kind of like the dream walking, kind of like the fixed point, all this other stuff. It's another thing. Person who's not supposed to be where they are, and a person who's not in that universe. So essentially the Earths are going to collide. It's going to be the final incursion, which is going to lead us into this next part. Avengers vs. X-Men, the final incursion. One way Marvel Studios could adapt the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline is by combining it with elements from the Time Runs Out and Secret Wars 2015 comics, in which the comic 616 universe was headed on a collision course with the Ultimate 1610 universe. As the final incursion before the multiverse ended, Marvel could very well combine these elements to create a story tackling all of these points on the road to Secret Wars. Colliding universe final concept for Loki pretty much was a photo that was showed, and it was the different universes colliding. Another reason this works is that it would create a perfect scenario in which neither team is necessarily a clear antagonist, and both teams are justified in their actions, trying to save their respective universes. Not to mention, we have yet to determine the full extent of this alternate universe, which will collide with the main MCU universe. With that being said, what they're saying is essentially there are a couple different universes. There is 617, which Alex mentions, which is from Defender Strange. There is Sinister Strange's world. There's the one that Monica's on right now with the X-Men. There's the Fox universe. There's so many different universes that are going to collide. But my biggest thing on this is what gives it a purpose? What makes us care about the X-Men universe that Monica's on? Well, the best way you could do is say that Deadpool ends with, him going back to the Fox universe. Because, we know that the whole point of this movie is he needs Wolverine to help him save the Fox universe. His universe is dying, hence what Paradox says. But Paradox is holding a twist, apparently, and he's also evil. So that gives us to go, okay, well, is Deadpool going to get back at the end? Is he not? Let's just say he ends up back in the Fox universe with Wolverine. Then it would essentially build up those old X-Men, the original 3, also the original prequels and whatnot. And when I say that, I mean X1, X2, X3, and then, Last Stand, Dark Phoenix, First Class, and Apocalypse. But essentially what I think they're going for is 1, 2, and 3, because it seems like most of those characters in Deadpool and Wolverine are going to be cameos from the originals, which would give us more of a basis of we love those characters. You have Wolverine, you have Storm, you have Jean, you have Cyclops, you have all these characters that we've learned to love over like a 20-year lifespan, which gives us the purpose of liking them. We love the original Avengers. We love the original X-Men. Having them going against each other will keep us like this. Like, we won't know what team we want to win. We're almost like just a spectator in this huge battle, which is X-Men versus Avengers. But next up, Alex goes on to say this. Does this universe only have the X-Men, or are there other heroes? Does this universe have its own set of Avengers? Do the Avengers in this universe have the 6 core members of the original lineup still active? The possibilities for a story like this is infinite, and hopefully could come to fruition in shape or form in a future project soon. Now, that part makes a lot of sense. Pay attention. If Robert Downey Jr. wanted to come back, if Chris Evans wanted to come back, if Scarlett Johansson wanted to come back. If we wanted a better Thor, if we wanted a better Hulk, if we wanted just ours, you could put them in 2 different universes. So essentially, you could have Chris Evans take a serum that makes his Captain America young again, 616. Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man could come from the 216 other Avengers or X-Men universe, which could have him, kind of like change sides and join the Avengers side. We could have teams changing sides, and essentially we could build up to like a Civil War II kind of aspect where the government wants essentially the X-Men to be registered under like an X-Men Registration Act or a Mutant Registration Act, because they're like, hey, we don't trust you guys with your powers. We need to keep you guys under check, kind of like how we tried with the Avengers. And then, it could be a battle. Or it could just be both worlds colliding and like them realizing like, hey, one of these universes has to go away. We've been clearing out universes for a while. And that's how you could attach that story. It could build in a bigger background to the other worlds. Like, hey, the X-Men have been killing Sinister Strange universe, Defender Strange universe, and we've only been hearing about it. What if the X-Men are the ones who actually beat Sinister Strange's universe and then took out 838? Stuff like that would be amazing. And by having characters fluctuate sides, you could have Wanda go with the X-Men, you could have Iron Man go with the Avengers, you could have Wolverine and Deadpool end up going with the Avengers. It could be, endless possibilities, and I think that's a great thing that they could do, with at the very end them hitting a white light happening, and all of a sudden, the Avengers and X-Men will return in Avengers Secret Wars. Something like that would be great. Obviously, Avengers 5, then Avengers versus X-Men, then Secret Wars. That's how I would like it. Obviously, in the background of Avengers 5, you could have a smaller Avengers team, building up the way. And throughout all these movies coming up, you have them building a pathway to Secret Wars. You could have Doctor Doom in the background. You could have King Thanos coming. You could have Ultron in the background. There's so many different things that you could do with all these different characters, and it would build such a perfect story. But with that being said, let me know what you think. My name is Bretta. I'll catch y'all in the next one.